Over the past few months, I've been to Ford dealerships all the way from Dallas, Texas to Boise, Idaho, and the lots seem to be full of $65,000 and up F-150 trucks that nobody seems to be buying right now, and trying to get an affordable Ford Maverick is nearly impossible. The truck market collapse is warming up, and it seems like dealers still have a huge grip on the high prices, limited discounts, and random markups over MSRP.
There are too many trucks, people aren't buying them, and the prices are still too high.
Ford has so much inventory that the lots just seem to always be full now, but the same can't be said about Toyota. Toyota is still struggling to keep the Tundra, Tacoma, and 4Runners on the lot in inventory, and once they hit the ground, they're sold almost immediately. While Toyota at least seems to be selling out of vehicles, Ford is still in what seems like an endless struggle to find a balance between new truck inventory and their high prices. One of the most expensive trucks I ever saw in a Ford lot was an F-150 Raptor for about $100,000, and the cheapest, if you can call it cheap, was a 2022 F-150 XLT that was sitting for over a year at about $58,000. After weeks of making videos about Ford dealers and their crazy truck prices, I think I finally found a dealership that blows them all away. And I'm fairly certain you'll never see prices like this at a Toyota dealership. So I'm out here at a Ford dealership in Moab, Utah, and even though it's a small dealership, they have a pretty unique selection and some things that I actually haven't seen before at any of the other Ford dealerships that we've been to, so that's why I stopped here today for this video. In this row right here, they actually have a Bronco for sale. They have Expeditions, Explorers, and they have a row of F-150s all along the back here. Not a huge selection, but they actually have some pricing that I haven't seen at any other dealerships, and it's actually pretty good. And then if you go to this side, this is where it gets a little crazy. They have this whole row of Raptors, and I have not seen this many Raptors at any of the Ford dealerships that I've been to, and this might be a unique situation because we are in Moab, Utah. Beautiful landscape, and the Raptors just kind of make sense. So I came here for two reasons. One, they have the most expensive Ford truck that I personally have ever seen, and two, well, let me show you. We'll get to this Shelby here in a minute, and these Raptors, and this really crazy beast right here. But first, I want to show you something kind of crazy, and it's right here in this batch of F-150s. Now, as I was wandering around those other dealerships, every F-150 four-door with four-wheel drive that I was looking at was over $60,000. These right here are pretty unique. Let me show you. It's got an F-150 XLT, nice white, super clean. It is four-wheel drive. It's nothing fancy. But this one is actually 2023 4x4 Super Crew, EcoBoost, 59,555. So we're dipping under the 60s for a four-door full drive 2023. But it gets a little bit better. And look, I'm not saying these prices are super low or super cheap, because they're not. But there is some hope for Ford prices, I think. Got this nice silver, pretty simple trim level. This is actually an F-150 STX. And the previous STXs that I found outside of Salt Lake City were the two-door versions. This one is actually a four-door, which is cool. And it is a four-wheel drive. It actually has like the upgraded wheels, which are a little bit nicer. But if you look at the sticker, 2023 F-150 4x4 Super Crew, it's got the 2.7 liter EcoBoost, and it is a total MSRP of $51,975. And the base price is $45,000. So the only thing that's making it go up are a few options that they have and the delivery. Here's something cool. They removed the auto start stop, and it actually took $50 off the price, which honestly, I didn't know you could remove the auto start stop for only $50. I'd say that's pretty cool, because that is the world's most annoying features in new vehicles. I hate the auto start stop. I've rented vehicles before that have auto start stop, and the newer Jeeps have it as well, and it's super annoying. First button, always push it, turn it off. It doesn't really help with fuel mileage anyways. But again, $51,975. So we're finally seeing dealers that have these lower trim levels pushing back into the 45s, into the 50s. You know, that's still not cheap. That's still not the base under 40 MSRP that you're seeing. Leave a comment. Do you think 51 is good for a four-wheel drive STX version of the F-150? Is that a good price? Or is that still higher than it needs to be? Here's another example in this white one. 2023 4x4 Super Crew, base price of $45,000. MSRP of $54,330. And I don't know what the deal is with this small dealership right here compared to the larger ones. I didn't see anything under 60 at the bigger dealerships. It's like they had a bigger market, so they're just trying to take advantage of selling the more expensive versions, which doesn't make sense, because those are just sitting on a lot. Now, they do have a Lariat version here, and you know, this gets into the crazy prices again at $76,000. But that's the first reason I wanted to show you that some dealers are getting F-150s in the low 50s. But the second reason is the most expensive Ford truck that I personally have ever seen, and it's this, the Shelby F-250 Super Baja. It has this insane, gigantic Shelby bumper, light bar, crazy hood with the ventilation on it, which is, I mean, it looks awesome. 37-inch mud terrains, Fox factory race series, Baja rack, spare tire in the back. Another light bar on top. But here's where this thing gets crazy. Like the F-250 is already pretty expensive. So this is a 2022 F-250 4x4 crew cab, MSRP of $85,730. So that's already kind of getting up there. And this is where it gets a little crazy. If you notice on the sticker, this is a 2022 model, which means it's probably been sitting here for at least a year not selling. And here's probably why. Obviously, because the market is crazy. People are saving their money. I don't know if you can read this or not, but then Shelby adds all of this stuff on it for a total MSRP of $141,430. I don't know anyone who's spending $141,000 on just like a play truck right now. And that's why this is a 2022. It's been sitting here for a long time. And that's not the only super crazy expensive truck here. Obviously, you have those Raptors, and I'll show you the prices here for that in a minute. But they also have another Shelby F-150 right here. And I thought the markup shenanigans was done. I thought wrong. Obviously, you've probably seen these Shelbys by now. I don't need to go into detail. It's 775 horsepower. Gobs of torque. This is also a 2022 for $139,900 asking price, but they're asking an ADM market adjustment of $7,400. But that brings us to a whopping $139,000. And like I said, I thought the ADM markup stuff was like a done deal, over quit. But this is a 2022, and it's clearly been sitting for probably at least a year, not selling. And they're still asking a markup. Now, I can't talk to anybody yet because I'm here like 30 minutes or so before they open, but that's just crazy that some dealers are still asking markups. And I know it's a special version, but if the truck has been sitting for a long time, just sell it at MSRP. It's not a big deal. Now, I do see these Raptors here, and they have 1, 2, 3, 4 that I see on this front row. And I don't see any market adjustment stickers on them. So if you want a Raptor and you got the money, come here. But this is a 2023, so hasn't been sitting long. $83,515 MSRP. This white one over here, I think is around the same price. Well, this was actually less, 2023, $81,320. And then another STX 4x4 at $53,000, 2023 model. So with all that said, at the end of the day, I want to know if you think Ford is ever going to come down on their truck prices. What do you think about the $50,000 ones that I showed you? About those ones that were like $130,000, $140,000. Do you think those prices are crazy? And do you think the dealers are crazy for just letting them sit on the lot for a year trying to get those markups? Well, with all that said, let me show you something real quick, a little more on the personal side. This is my Jeep Rubicon. It's a 2015, and it's pretty much mostly stock, but I did a few things that I want to show you. I put some brand new Fox shocks on it. I put these wheels on it from 1552. Put a little cool stubby antenna because I think it's kind of cool. And then I also lifted it just a little bit because it looks way better.